So, the best thing happened on Sunday. My host family found Dr. Peppers. I know in my last video I was talking about Dr. Peppers and how much I love them and miss them. So literally the very next day I had Dr. Peppers. So my host family has another daughter, but she doesn't live with us because she's married and lives in another town. So she comes to visit like once a week or so. And so she came to visit on Sunday. And I walk in the house because it was somewhere. I don't remember where. It was somewhere. And I come back and she's here. And she's like, hey, do you want to get a soda out of the fridge? I'm like, no, I don't want a soda. I know you got, I don't like, well, this is what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, I know you got Coke in the fridge. Like, I'm gonna go look. But, yeah. So I go and I open the fridge. There's Dr. Peppers. And I literally squealed, like, because I was so ecstatic. Like, it's the greatest thing ever. But yeah, it's so good. I was so happy. Yeah. So, this was week 2. A lot of language training. Every day in the morning we have 4 hours of language training, which is really intense. Yeah, because it's speaking entirely in Spanish the whole time. Nothing but Spanish. And in the afternoons we have cultural activity or language training. I have to have language training because I'm a lower Spanish speaker or whatever. And then we do like tech classes talking about WASH and whatnot. So yeah, this week though, for tech classes we just kind of talked about like the overview of what WASH is and what we do as WASH volunteers, which can vary. Some people have more like tech heavy stuff where they're like building stuff like aqueduct systems, and some people focus more on behavior change, like making sure people are washing their hands or brushing their teeth or storing their food properly and things like that. And then we also talked about water treatment and storage, which is important, especially in a country that has a lot of mosquitoes. Yeah, how to do it, different ways you can do it in each community, depending on how your community is, things like that. We also talked about, so we do this thing in our communities, it's called PACA. It's like Participatory Analysis for Community Action, I think is what it stands for. And basically it has like all these different parts to kind of help you develop in your first 3 months, like your plan with the community on like what you are going to do for the 2 years. So whether it's behavior change, building an aqueduct system, repairing the aqueduct system, or whatever, things like that. So we talked about how to do that, why it's important. Also, we're doing like this group project throughout PST on our PACA things to kind of get the gist of it, to like learn the tools, but we're doing it as a group. Yeah, we also talked about like when we're gonna collect these various data points throughout our service, and how we can measure like our change or the changes that happen over time. And we also talked about our WASH like behavior change model. So previously in the past I only had like a behavior change model in general, but it was very generic and also not utilized a lot. So our new program manager, she's like only been in the job like 6 months or so, but she's getting an MPH. She is working on, she created this new like behavior change model plan on how to create one, or create like campaigns of behavior change in your communities. So that was really cool. Yeah. Friday we went to the office did a lot of safety and security stuff. Talked about sexual assaults and transportation and crime mitigation, and it was interesting, but it's also a very heavy topic, especially when you're talking about sexual assaults. And it was yeah. Definitely afterwards needed some time to like decompress. And we also did this exercise where you like step into this, it was talking about like your identities. You like step into the circle if you fit into the category. For instance, if you're female, male, or Republican, Democrat, or like various just like things about religion, about sexual orientation, about things that have happened to you in the past, socioeconomic status, like just various different things. Yeah, so it was a very intense Friday. We ended up meeting actually all the women in my group. We have this group chat and on WhatsApp me if you want to talk, because it's cheaper than text messages. Random side note. But yeah, so we met that week, or that Saturday, to talk, just to kind of like talk about our feelings, talk about like how everything's going in PST so far, and just all the things. We also did this like Panama adventure thing where we had to like take public transportation and get around and find all these places that are popular for Peace Corps volunteers. Yeah, it's tough because we had a time limit on how long we could do it, so there was that. And we had to like be back in our communities by a certain time, and it was just kind of tough. But my host family was really good. We talk a lot, and they laugh at me a lot. Sure, because I'm Spanish. Yeah. But the highlight of my week, definitely the Dr. Peppers. Because, like, Dr. Pepper is my life. So good. But yeah. This week, there's just a lot of language training. A lot of Spanish. It's important because I speak Spanish here, but it's a long week. It's a very long week. And I'm looking forward to next week. We go to visit a volunteer for like kind of see life of volunteer type of a thing. I'm excited to go do that. So check in next week to see how it was.